Hi guys, this is Katie.
And I'm Laura.
And we are here to introduce our new stitching journal and planner by the Black Needle Society.
This was available in our November resolution stitching box.
So if you are a subscriber, you should have received this item. We do have just a couple of extras for this year, but we don't have a lot of extras. We're making this video though so that if you're interested in maybe getting the 2023 planner, you can see what we put into this year's. We also would love your feedback if you received this planner about features that you like, dislike, things you'd like to see in the future, etc. We are planning to do a 2023 and we are already making lists on things we'd like to see for next year.
And it won't be included in a box. It would be for separate purchase.
Yes.
In the vault.
So, we'll tell you things as we go, but let's start with opening this thing. So let's start, first of all, we have a band here. Next year, we're planning on having a second one attached, but we do like this removable one as an option too. But this one does come off, and it is that bright purple that we kind of associate with our brand. So our first page of this planner is a who it belongs to. You should be putting your name here and how you would like somebody to contact you if you happen to leave this behind somewhere. So very basic. Next is a 2022 calendar. So you have a full breakdown of your year here on this page. And then over here, we have 12 Black Needle Society stitching challenges. We thought 12 was a good number because you could do one per month.
Or if you have a month where you feel like you want to do a couple of them, you could jump in and do that, and then you could take a month off.
Yeah, it's however you want it. Anything in here, it's however you want to take on any of the prompts or challenges. If you want to do them, great. If you don't want to do them, that's fine too. But maybe if you're low on some stitching juju, something in here will also inspire you. Next is our 2022 goals. We have your starting stats, a place for you to write down some of your stitching goals, and a place for you to write down some of your personal goals. Most of this planner, Laura and I talked about, we wanted to keep stitching focused, but we do have a couple of places where you can put in your own personal life goals if you wanted to add those into this one planner as well.
And this side we thought you could play with. I have one of the small printers where I could print a picture to go up in here, or you could even use the whole page and finish one of your smalls into it. We think you'll have room on a few pages throughout the book.
Or you can write goals in there. You can use adorable stickers in there. You could have friends sign the book there if you go to different stitching retreats throughout the year. We thought this was kind of a free-for-all page on how you want to use it. And we would love to know how you decide to use it.
Yes, so send us pictures.
Yes. Next up is an A to Z challenge. This was inspired actually by a reading challenge that I did years ago on Goodreads. The challenge was to read a book that started with each letter of the alphabet. And we thought it would be fun to adapt that to a stitching challenge to stitch on a project that begins with each letter of the alphabet. Any challenge in here, by the way, we've included instructions either below the title of the challenge or on the opposite page if it ends up taking a full spread.
But remember that you can always do your take on this as well, because there aren't any cross-stitch police.
And there are no cross-stitch planner police. There is no wrong way to use your planner. I will say that we do have some rules for this that are, you choose to follow them or not. But we do give you X as kind of a freebie. You can have X anywhere in the title rather than starting with it. And we have a few things about starting words up there. But again, it's your planner. Next is a pamper yourself stitching challenge. So what you do is you set your own challenge based on a project. And when you finish that challenge, you get to set what your reward is going to be. So Laura has focus pieces throughout the year. So if she set a focus piece on here and she had, you know, if she did a page finish on it, she would get whatever her reward was.
And probably I would set my goal beforehand my reward, not my goal, but obviously my goal, but my reward beforehand as well, just so that I know what I'm working for and I don't reward myself differently.
Next is the word of the year. This is Mom's, Mom constantly wants to do an acrostic challenge when we're doing different retreats. So this seemed like the perfect place to be able to add in an acrostic.
And our word of the year is appreciation, because we appreciate all of you.
Yes.
And all the love and support we've gotten in this first year of Retreat in a Box.
I will also say that Mom introduced me to the concept of an acrostic because I had never heard of it before. Then we have a little bingo card with some different stitching challenges. It's just a fun way to see if you can get bingo throughout the year and how many times. Can you get a blackout? Can you get 5 across all the different directions? Can you do 4 corners? Just have fun with it.
So this may be one that you want to take a picture of the page before you start anything in there, before you write anything in, so that you could do it multiple times. And several of the challenges on this page were inspired by our bingo games in our retreats, if you attended any of those during the year.
And finally, we have a Stitch All the Colors challenge. So this one has to do with your fabric color. So this challenge encourages you to try stitching on some different colors throughout the year. In case you get stuck in the neutral zone, this one may push you outside of your comfort zone a little bit.
And if you're somebody who stitches with all the beautiful colors, then look, we put in white and gray and black
and brown
for you.
And brown comes in a lot of different shades.
Oh, yes.
So
all of your coffee and tea dyes
yes.
count as brown.
So that brings us to the beginning of a month. Every single month has a tab so you can navigate to it easily throughout the year. And then every month has a photograph and an inspirational quote. So January's is from Albert Einstein.
And then the pages that follow all have borders that reflect the image that was chosen for the month. So they all kind of coordinate and go together.
So January has paint splatters all over it. So we also have a full month breakdown. There's a box for every single day of the month here. So if you want to have an overall look at your month, this is a great place to do that. There's a place for notes over on the side, a place for goals, and a place for you to challenge yourself with I want to try. That can be stitching or personal related, whatever you want to do there. Or you can just put a sticker there and make it pretty. Next up, we have a tracking page. This spread is actually inspired by another planner set that we've seen teased on Instagram, but we decided to take our own, put our own twist on it. So we have a daily stitch tracker. This is for you to mark your overall progress in stitching as a whole on every single project. So Mom is one of those stitchers who will stitch on more than one project a day. For this tracker, she would not be noting that it was multiple projects. It would just be the amount of time or the number of stitches, whatever she wants to do as her key up here, she gets to decide. So if she wants to do stitched 1 to 60 minutes, 60 minutes to 120 minutes, whatever she wants to do up there, or stitched 200 stitches, stitched 500 stitches, she gets to name whatever increment she wants to up there. And then throughout the month, you color in the blocks. You should write in the day and then color it in according to your key.
Okay.
Over here with the project progress tracker, you can track your progress on individual projects. So you use these lines to write the name of a project, and then you color in your progress on each one for every single day of the month. Again, you can create your own key down here and you get to set your own increments. It could be a number of stitches, the amount of time stitched, or anything else that you guys can think of that we're not thinking of. And the last page before we get into the month breakdown, the week by week breakdown, is works in progress. That will let you have the title of the pattern, the designer name, the start date and the finish date, and the number of stitches completed. This is a great place for you to keep track of your whips. You don't have to list every single whip you have every single month, but it's a great place for you to list out the ones that you've touched during the month.
And if you're like me, I choose a focus project or a few focus projects for the month, and it would be a great place to put them in.
And finally, we have our new purchases page. We've given you 2 columns for documenting what you've purchased, on what day, and how much it costs you. We gave you 2 columns because you can either do it as an item by item breakdown. So if you want to write down every single DMZ skein you want to buy for a project, you have a lot of space to do that. If you want to do floss for Hawk Run Hollow, I don't know, that's the first thing popping into my head, and just do a blanket item there, then you can do that all on one line too. It's however you want to keep track.
It was a good one to name because Hawk Run Hollow tends to have a lot of floss.
That's what popped into my head. I was like, I actually wonder if we have enough lines for all of the floss for a Hawk Run Hollow. Okay, so then we are starting our year. We actually have a few days at the end of December here before January starts, but we wanted to give you a full week page to start your planner. So every single week that fits on a single page, and at the very top it says my goal this week, and you get to name what your goal is. And then there's a place for you to document what projects you're stitching on during the week. You can do that as you go, or you can use it as I would like to stitch on these projects during the week. It's up to you. And then notes for yourself over on the side there. And every single one of these pages is the same layout. So from there, most of these look the same. We'll just do a really quick flip through. Here, I'll skip ahead to March, where you can see we have Battle of the Whips as a challenge. This is inspired by March Madness, but we decided to not name it that. And the description of how to play is up here, but essentially you are creating a bracket with 12 projects and you're going to battle it out to see which one you are going to push to try and finish during the month.
I love the picture for March.
And then I'm going to flip ahead to May because we have some pages at the very end of April, right before May, that you may want to use during April, because I don't know about you guys, but April is a very rainy season, for a rainy month for us. So this page is a rainy day project tracker. So you should choose a project and you can list what it is right there and stitch on it every single time that it rains in your area.
So make it a project you really want to finish.
And you get to set the parameters for what you want to do. We do suggest in here that you stitch at least 1 hour for every time that it rains on a project, but it is up to you what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And because we know a lot of you start some new projects in May, we thought we would give you a page for you to set your May stitching goals here, and also a page for your shopping list for the month to get supplies for your projects you want to stitch on. So then, let's skip ahead again. Some of the months have just blank pages next to them. This was going to be a notes page, but after talking it over, we thought that it would be a great place for you to also mount a small project in there if you wanted. But you can still use it for notes if you'd like.
Then our month, July,
which is also the mid-year check-in. Oh, sorry, I actually skipped some pages there.
So June has another blank page that you can put some things in.
At the very end. And then that starts our mid-year check-in. So this is a place for you to go back to those goals that you set at the very beginning of the year and see where you are, but it's also a fun place to document where you are in your life at the moment. So we have some just fun things in here, like your favorite FlossTuber, your favorite Instagrammer, your favorite food and drink. So these are some of the personal things that we said. Most of this planner is stitching related, but we did have a few places for you to add some personal touches in.
And like the retreat moments, when you go and you meet some people and you want to get all of their information, this is kind of a good place to jot down some things too.
Yeah. And this page should look familiar because it is pretty much the same as the goals page from the first spread. And then back here is a place for you to document your mid-year finishes. Now, if you are an epic finisher, Jennifer Gorski, we have more pages in the back that you can document finishes on. This was just for your mid-year. So then...
Katie loves flamingos, so July is flamingos.
So I chose flamingos for my birthday month. Then we have August. And then September. There we go. And October. At the very end of September, we have a place for you to start planning your 13 Stitches of Halloween challenge. This is a challenge we explain up here that is hosted by our customer service rep, Athena. She started it 2 to 3 years ago. And
when she first came back to stitching.
Yes.
And she is, she didn't have very many projects going. So she said, hey, would anybody like to start some Halloween projects with me? And of course we all said, yes.
So this is a place for you to document which 13 projects you would like to stitch on that are Halloween or fall related, or you could take on the challenge however you want to, but we wanted to set up a place for you to do that in here. If you want to follow her, her Instagram name is Athena X Stitches. Which brings us to November. At the very back of November is our 12 days of stitching a Christmas and winter challenge. So this is very similar to Athena's 13 days, except we are focusing on stitching Christmas and winter related projects. This is great even if you don't celebrate Christmas.
And this is hosted by the Black Needle Society, so it's on our Instagram page, which is the Black Needle Society.
Yes. And finally, we have our wrap-up pages at the end of December. So this is for you to fill out toward the end of the year to see where you have ended up at the end of the year. So things that we suggest are things that 2022 taught me, best FlossTuber, best Instagram post, best tutorial, and in 2022, I am most proud and then 3 places for some memorable moments.
This might be a good place if you are wanting to remember things to have some sticky notes and to just jot some notes throughout the year and maybe tack them on that page. And then at the end of the year, you can kind of reflect on those and make some final decisions about what you want to include in there.
Yep. And then we have, again, this should look really similar. It is pretty much the same as your mid-year check-in spread. Except instead of retreat moments, we have a finishes section where you can reflect on some of your favorite finishes throughout the year.
And there are different categories. So, you know, like if you finished one that was a paper copy, if you challenged yourself, if you're a paper stitcher and you stitched with the digital copy, that's kind of fun to just note what you did.
Next, we have progress in 2022. This page you should be using horizontally, and you should be using it as a bar graph to note your progress. You get to set what the key is here, what increments you are using to measure, whether it's time, whether it's number of stitches, anything else that you want to do here. This is a great place for you to document it. And you can note what your key is, if it's color coordinated or whatever you need to do there. Then
we begin the finished projects.
We hope that this is enough pages. Sorry, guys. We hope this is enough pages for you guys. But again, it's very similar to the works in progress pages throughout the year, but this is a place for you to write down all the finishes.
And obviously, we're trying to give Jennifer Gorski enough pages to list them all.
And then finally, the planner ends with some blank graph paper. It does not carry over, so this is not 9 blocks. This is 10 blocks from here. Every single one has an extra row of blocks just in case you needed it. But this is a great place if you need to convert lettering on a chart, or if you have an idea for a change of a motif or something. This is a great place to play around with charting your own custom elements. And then that is it. Finally, the planner ends with a pocket. We envisioned you keeping things here like stickers or important mementos that you would like to include in the planner somehow.
And just other kinds of ephemera that you would normally keep with a planner.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for our flip through. A couple more things about this. We do have a metal coil on this planner. It is a hardcover planner, and we asked that they add some little metal corners to both the front and back corners of this in order to keep it from getting dinged up throughout the year.
Yes, very important.
We expect you to fully abuse this because we definitely will.
So again, please let us know your thoughts on it and how you're using it and what you're liking and whatever you would maybe like to see in next year's planner.
Yes, we are excited to bring this kind of custom experience to you guys.
Right. And tell us which challenges are your favorites and which ones you missed.
And if you have any other thoughts, again, please email beinsocietyhelp@gmail.com, and Athena will let us know what your notes are. We are keeping a list of notes throughout the entire year about changes that we want to make for our 2023 planner.
And watch for a hashtag for the planner so that we can all keep in touch and share our progress.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful 2022. Bye.
Bye.